coming to you live from Kenny's basement apartment, where the guy next to me is still a two-time fantasy football loser. It's Sports Allegedly.
Welcome. Thank you all for joining us for this episode of Sports Allegedly on this day, 30 of December 2024, to be our last podcast of this year of our Lord 2024. Thanks for joining us. Sorry we missed you last week. Big holiday events and plans and all kinds of stuff. Now, if you want to talk about fantasy real quick, I did go from, I think, 10th last year to 3rd. And the person that looks like he's going to win the championship had a killer game last week. I scored 150-something points, and he still beat me by 40. He had almost 200. So, anyway, I finished 3rd. Currently, Creston and Daxton are
our third member, and the prodigal son.
He's in the. They're in the championship. I think Creston needed 55 points tonight with Gibbs and Goff, which is not unheard of. But the way it's going right now, quick update on that game: 49ers 14, Lions 6. Just started the second quarter, and it looks like 49ers got the ball back.
Oh no,
that
just changed.
Just changed. Okay, so they just scored. So Detroit will have the ball back. Look like both offenses were looking like shit when we opened the start. So let's talk a little bit.
Hold on. We've got some RIPs to go through because we did miss. Ricky Henderson.
Oh, yeah.
We lost him. We lost Greg Gumbel.
For sure. You know the thing that I always...
grew up listening to him.
Well, of course, when we were younger, he was all football.
He was everywhere.
But what I'll always remember is
sports.
College basketball. That was my favorite thing because... You could start at 11 a.m. on a Thursday, and of course it's bumped up a little earlier now because they do the playing games. But it was always consistent. You had Greg Gumbel and Clark Kellogg, which is my two favorite basketball people.
To those guys.
And you'd start on Thursday, and of course you had Greg a lot longer than Clark. But yeah, rest in peace. And I thought the better sports guy than his brother, to be honest. I liked him better.
He was.
I think he was just more like
Then we also lost Jimmy Carter at 100.
Yes.
And we lost the last surviving member of Pearl Harbor.
Really?
Yeah, 105.
Did not know that.
He made it this year to the commencement. He stood up and saluted.
No kidding. And then within 30 days was out.
Yep.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, not that he passed, but that he got to make it and live
he worked on standing up to salute.
That is great.
So, that was our obituaries. I mean, it went fast. Like, I did not expect Ricky Henderson to go. I mean, watching him play baseball.
I think that was just sounds like a big surprise.
It was. It was a huge surprise for everybody. So, Kenny did improve this season on fantasy football, but he still fell short of the goal of having his name on the plaque. And
I think I finished 9th instead of 10th.
You finished 8th.
No, it'd be 9th because I didn't make the playoffs. I didn't make the playoffs. So I couldn't.
We had less people last year.
Oh, we only had 10.
Right.
Oh, okay.
We had less people, so
okay.
You finished.
You sure?
Yes, you finished 9th.
Okay.
8th. I
anyway,
looked at the thing.
So I moved.
You finished what my place would have been.
Gotcha. This year.
Yeah.
So you went from 1st to 8th. Not good.
I still, I'm there. I'm still there.
You didn't rock the Brock Purdy this year.
I didn't get him. He was taken from me.
But he was a free agent last week.
Well, I can't pick anybody up because some jackass has locked my account and I'm not playing this week. Although I still get updates on my players. It's dumb as shit.
So, where do you want to start? I mean, obviously the big news, we can talk about OU and their shit bowl game.
Well, let's go ahead and do that last because you're going to go off on a rant.
Okay.
We're just going to start
about the playoffs?
Yeah, we're going to start with the college football playoffs.
Let's talk about the games that had happened already that we talked about last week. Okay, so Indiana, Notre Dame, 27-17 final. We both picked Notre Dame to win. It kind of went as you would think. Indiana continued to make mistakes in that game.
What was the score that we picked?
27-17. Oh, I picked 27-23, and you picked 38-21. That's pretty damn close for me. So it kind of went as it that most would thought. Defense played really well from Notre Dame. I mean, you've got these pundits now in the national media talking Notre Dame's going to make this big run.
Oh, Notre Dame's legit this year.
Yeah, they're out. I mean,
Notre Dame is the best.
Stop talking about them beating Georgia, please. Please stop. Stop.
They can't.
Notre
Dame's back, baby.
It's just not going to happen. So anybody that sets out there is ridiculous. And I've seen some of them, and I cannot believe, why aren't we getting paid more to do those things?
I don't know.
To talk just
why
garbage.
Why are we getting paid to do this?
Just talking garbage on TV. I think Notre Dame's going all the way. Really? Northern Illinois beat them. Stop. They haven't improved that much.
And they almost got beat by USC. Remember, USC came back in that game.
And we'll talk about, well, before we get to you, so we'll finish up on my playoff rant. I might have made it last, but I'm going to talk about it again. So Notre Dame, Indiana made mistakes early in the game and didn't do anything. They scored 3 points at halftime. They did make it a little closer in the second quarter or the fourth quarter. Second half, they got 14
comeback.
points.
It was just too late.
Yeah.
And Cignetti not going for it on the fourth down, I really shot them in the foot to get.
You only make the playoffs once.
Get those extra points.
You make the playoffs once. If they make it next year, that's great. But this, I think you go in with a team like that, and you go balls to the wall. I mean, you've got to win it. Okay, next game was a little surprising to me, and I have not given Penn State the credit that maybe I should, or maybe SMU just didn't look ready to play. Obviously, they threw a big 0 at halftime.
In that game, I expected SMU to have the same troubles they had with Clemson, but fix it like they did with Clemson, and come back and win, or at least make it closer than 38-10.
Agreed. I mean, and they had a little bit of run in the end, but I mean, if you go to the box score on that, Sean.
I mean, Jennings was the top quarterback, but still at the same time, they rattled his cage every play.
Well, and I think the defense. I mean, Alar wasn't. I mean, at QBR, he was 13-22, but they don't have to do that. They just run the ball and play good defense.
Franklin still brings in some of the
slide that back down.
Franklin still brings in some of the best running backs. This is why we're looking at Saquon Barkley having a resurgence.
Yeah, and there was only one fumble though. Was there any other turnovers? I see one fumble. Did he throw any picks?
Jennings? Yeah, 3 INTs.
Yeah, okay, that's right. That was the one game I didn't watch a lot of.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we both picked Penn State to win. 27-17. We actually had the same pick on that game. So then Texas and Clemson. Both picked Texas. The game, I mean, Texas was up early, 28-10, and then it got a little closer at the end. But every time that Clemson would kind of nudge that way, then Texas.
The goal line calls.
Oh yeah, they couldn't get. I mean,
a naked boot of a flared tight end. Something with a little pass. It just, I didn't understand it. 4 straight tries to run in and
give Texas credit. I mean, they ran the ball well. You see that
They played a complete game.
They did, and the blue kid got 146 yards, 2 touchdowns. That was only on 14 carries. I thought Ewers, he didn't make a lot of mistakes, and they got up early and they just kind of let that. They ran the ball in the second half, let that defense come up, and
they just played a more complete game than Clemson, and they didn't have. Lincoln Riley's little brother calling terrible plays.
So the big game I thought would be the most exciting game.
So leading up to this, Lane Kiffin is mouthing off the whole time. Oh, you let these 2 lost teams in. And Mike kept saying, well, you know what? Maybe you shouldn't have lost 3 games. If you didn't lose 3 games, you would have been in. You to tell me that these kids didn't work their asses off to get in. These teams didn't work their asses off to get in.
My only thing is
then don't lose.
My only thing is that
was my thing.
I didn't have a,
and okay, so Feinbaum.
Are we going to talk about this game?
Yeah.
Do the playoffs?
This is how it's going in.
Okay.
So Feinbaum was also mouthing off about the SEC dominance, and I watched this game, the Tennessee-Ohio State game, and I expected so much more out of this. I did not expect.
I actually had Tennessee winning by 1.
I did not expect Ohio State to get shellacked, or Ohio State to shellac Tennessee.
I think the biggest thing that I took about that is, the biggest criticism all year on Ohio State has been their defense.
Exactly, because they barely beat Indiana.
We know Knowles. We know we've seen him at Oklahoma State. He turned that defense around and had a good defense, got hired up there, and has consistently had a good defense at Ohio State. And then this year at 11-2, they're just bitching. I think Ohio State and OU fans might be the biggest bitchers of all time. But
you haven't seen Alabama on a down year.
Well, I mean, that's possible.
You haven't been in Alabama on a down year, I guess is what I can say.
So, no, I thought the defense was the biggest surprise of that game, only because of the, now let's go back a little bit. If, Nico Immanaleva, the freshman phenom,
the ex-volleyball
14 to 31. If you look at statistically, and I'm not trashing the kid, he's a freshman, I understand that, but you look at the kid, he did not do well against teams that were any good. I mean, you have to remember that they had 3 losses now.
Right.
And in the other 2
they
losses...
had 2 losses coming into this.
And the other 2 losses, he did not play well. Like I said, he's 14 to 31, 140 yards. He had 47 rush yards, but that was still on 20 carries. And then Dylan Sampson, I mean, he declared for the draft. He didn't do much, was banged up in the game. I just thought that Tennessee would come out with a better game plan and actually score. But right off the bat, with the
well, hold on, let's talk about pregame, because them being out there with no shirts on, doing warm-ups, acting like the cold doesn't affect them, and Tennessee's fans taking over the stadium.
Yeah, and that was kind of, and Ryan Day had 2 weeks of just. I mean, they were trashing him, and the team showed up for him. And, 256 total yards for a Josh Heupel-led team is unheard of. Even when he was odd with Landry Jones at OU.
And the fact that you lost to Will Howard. I got into an argument with a drunk Ohio State fan. And I kept telling him, I'm like, the weakest part of Ohio State's team is their quarterback.
But did you not think that was probably his best game all year?
It had to have been. 311 yards, 2 touchdowns?
Yeah. No, I thought it was.
29?
I really thought it was.
And you've got great receivers on that team?
Yeah. No, I mean, we talked about this in earlier podcasts that Will Howard's not a guy that you would think is going to be a passing quarterback. They when he was at Kansas State, they did a lot of run and run option.
RPOs.
And so you have some throwing. It's not like he can't throw, but it's like
he's not the guy that you would.
Ryan
he's
Day
not the guy you look at to throw.
Yeah, right. Usually Ryan Day on that Ohio State offense is heavy throw. All right, so you got it right. You picked him in a low-scoring game, 2017. I picked him 28.
Yeah, that's another thing that I thought that this was going to be a better defensive
We got the
battle.
17 right. You picked 17 for Tennessee.
It's just that 42 for Ohio State.
Yeah, you missed that a little bit.
Kind of ramped it. So I got all of them right?
Yes. Yes, you are 4-0 in the playoffs. I'm 3-1. All right. Well, let's talk about the upcoming playoffs. Because, I mean, we can go. We'll go through. We'll discuss a little bit about OU's bowl game at the end.
From the bowls, did you see that ref punched in the face?
Mm-hmm. That was
NC State, East Carolina.
That got ugly.
I definitely would have been picking East Carolina over NC State.
North Carolina State had a super disappointing year.
Hugely disappointing.
All right. Anything really? What is that? Upcoming games.
Upcoming games. You got South Carolina, Illinois, and the Cheez-It Bowl.
They're ranked,
which should be.
Is that tomorrow? Go back. Is that tomorrow?
It should be. Yeah. It should be a good defensive game. I'm going to say. I'm probably going to be wrong because look what happened with the Ohio State to Tennessee game, and then we have Alabama, Michigan. So we've got 2 games of the SEC versus the Big Ten.
I think SEC takes both those.
You
now is this the if Alabama loses, it's because they didn't want to be there?
Yes,
because they didn't make the playoffs.
Absolutely.
Okay, just checking.
There's the cope. There's the cope that they did not want to be there.
Just
checking. I wanted
to make sure that was.
This player decided to leave.
Just want to make sure that was a thing.
Baylor, LSU, in the Kinder Texas Bowl, which we talked about that. They make more than eggs.
Yeah.
Yes. Louisville, Washington. The bowls for me now are just boring. I'm waiting on this Penn State Boise State game.
There we go. We'll start with that one. All right, let's preview it real quick.
I ended up having to pick Penn State. I want Boise State, but I had to pick Penn State.
Okay, before we get into the score predictions, go ahead and let's talk a little bit about the game. Are you thinking that...
It's going to be Genty heavy.
Okay.
So they are going to be trying. They're going to be stopping the run. Penn State's coming out straight to stop the run. They are going to shut him down because Boise's going to try to get him loose as much as they can and free up the offense to be able to pass. But what was Penn State's run defense? I forgot.
That's exactly what I was getting ready to look at.
So I think they were one of the top run-stopping defenses, weren't they? Well, we should have had all this pulled up, but we didn't.
Yeah,
know.
well,
We go off the fly here.
I was thinking that the it really is it really gonna matter so much? I mean, I know that everybody's gonna be like, okay, they've got to stop him. I think that maybe the Boise State defense isn't getting enough credit, and I think that's, to me, they're first in their conference. I know that's a Mountain West, but they're first in sacks.
Hold on, remember they also did play Oregon. They played Oregon close,
and that was close and low scoring.
They
held them, so I think that they're probably not getting the credit maybe that they did, or they're just thinking offense. So anyway, scoring offense is about the same. Scoring defense, Penn State's lower, but it's more going to be about they're going to just stop, But one stat about Genty, 1889 rushing yards after contact. Plus he's rested, and like I said, that's the key thing I want to see between. I want to see Boise State's line. And I want to see Arizona State's line against Texas. I want to see if those guys, that group of guys for each one, could come up there. So
here we go.
But they're third in points nationally. The Broncos are, and sixth in total yards.
Is that the offense?
Yeah, that's the Broncos' offense.
So Penn State is number 4 in the nation in yards allowed.
Yes.
They sit behind Ohio State, Indiana, Texas.
Okay, so and one other thing that was a stat, the only other Power 4 team that Boise State faced this year was Oregon, and they were held to 369 yards. So that was about 100 yards below their average.
And Boise,
of course, that was early in the year as well.
You look at this. Boise is number 2 in the
2 in the nation. 2 in the sacks, yes.
2 in the sacks.
2 in the sacks.
So I think this is the complete. Oh, no, it says points allowed. We'll go look at yards allowed.
But when it really comes down to it, I just think that talent usually overwhelms. And I'm not saying, I'm saying that Boise State probably got one of the better matchups because it is Penn State. I don't think, Alar is a 5-star recruit in his second year. He's a true sophomore. And he's gotten better from last year. If you remember, they put him in last year as a true freshman, and he took his lumps. But I still watch him, and I'm their offense with Andy Koletke is so much better. I mean, by far better, but still you sometimes wonder, you see those mistakes and those missed throws. So, I don't know.
It's going to come down to Boise playing a complete game from start to finish without any errors.
Okay, what do you got for score? Let's give a prediction.
I was going to go 27-19.
27-19 Penn State. All right. I've got Penn State winning 38-27. I think
I've been thinking about that 19.
I think
19's been hitting.
I think Boise State scores a little at the end, but I think the game is not boring for people that like old school football, but it is going to be a ground pound.
Yes.
Run the ball. Both teams are going to run the ball.
Penn State has a great running back.
And they got such a good defense. So and Aller, like I said, he's gotten so much better. I still see him being very young looking at times, but he's so much better than he is last year.
Sophomore, junior.
He's a sophomore. He's a true sophomore because he started last year as a true freshman.
Yeah.
All right.
And in our first game on the new year of our Lord, 2025, Texas, Arizona State starting off with the big noon ESPN in the Chick-fil-A Bowl.
God, that is early, isn't it?
It is. And I've been seeing nothing but them trashing.
Oh, well, they had to put the Rose Bowl at 4.
Yeah. So they're saying that Arizona State is not going to is not going to be as potent on offense because they've lost their leading receiver.
Who has?
Arizona State.
Oh, I haven't even saw that.
Yeah, so they're saying that they're not going to be as potent. I still think that Arizona State is a better team than Texas.
Here's my concern. Arizona State has ran their mouth a lot. Scatterboo said, "No one can stop me." That was his quote.
That needs to stop.
And Sam Levitt, quarterback, said, "Hey, I'm better than yours."
He is. He
And that's possibly correct.
But you guys got to stop running your mouth until the game's over.
And they come in with that swagger a little bit, and really this is going to come down to who runs the ball better.
Who controls the line better.
Well, yeah, who can run the ball? I mean, what defense can stop? Because Texas is going to pride itself on that Texas line.
Oh, them Medallion's back. Oh,
they
are so deep on all three levels.
Same for the offense. Well, they're not. I don't think they're very. I don't think they're
on
very,
all three levels.
I don't think they're very good in the secondary.
Oh,
Texas.
you need to listen to the trash that I have to listen to prep for all this.
I don't. And
they are deep at all three levels.
No, they're a very deep team, but I don't think
the backers and the secondary.
I don't think their secondary is as strong.
So deep.
I think that's their weakness, and I think their other weakness is yours. I've said that before.
That's been proved by Georgia.
Yeah,
how many times?
Yours is a weakness too. I've said that before too. So, but I like the matchup for Texas simply. Neither one's a true home game for either team. So Texas will travel.
Where's the Chick-fil-A?
It's Atlanta.
Okay.
It's at the big
so
dome.
they're both moved across the nation. They're on the East Coast. I just looked at that and saw where it was. You know what? I'm going to take a Arizona 23, Texas 21.
Oh, what the upset!
I do. I do believe that Dillingham will keep his team more composed. Because that's one of the issues with Texas is they get in and they get these teams that are rattled.
Well, I told you I don't think their culture is very good.
No.
And I don't like yours.
Oh, nobody likes yours.
I know.
And then he going to stay for a 16th season?
No. You want to talk about that? He's already been offered, allegedly, some big money.
For transfer?
Mm-hmm. He's not going to the NFL. He will transfer to another. He'll play 1 year at a college team.
Is he going to try Dylan Gabriel?
I think Oregon's I swear it's Oregon or it's Ohio State. That'd be the two.
I swear Oregon
got big money.
I swear Oregon just picked up somebody to.
Both of them had good kids coming in
to fill in for Gabriel.
Or would USC go? I need you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean that could be it. Even though they won their bowl game, luckily.
Come to me.
Yeah.
I need you.
But anyway, I don't. I mean, if I'm a GM for the NFL, I'm a super badass GM for fantasy football because everyone will take my rookie picks this year and use them like they did.
Rookie picks were this? Oh, Bucky Irvin. That's it.
Yeah, just the leading rusher of a rookie by far.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had the leading tight end and somebody stole him.
Who?
Sam Laporta.
Yeah, but he sucked this year. But I said, hey, somebody draft Brock Bowers.
Somebody drafted
the rookie. He's got second or third most receptions. He broke Ditka's record. Yeah, he broke Ditka's record.
Don't you keep that name out of your mouth.
But yeah, he's like third in receptions.
Never talk about Ditka.
No, he's like third in receptions.
I know.
I mean, for everybody, just not tight ends, folks.
I know, but the problem is that Jaden Daniels has done. Well, this is NFL talk.
Yeah. So okay, I got 42-35 Texas. I think I think they get a little crazy in the end, scoring wise, and I think it becomes a wear down on the defense. I think there's some points scored, but Arizona State keeps it close, and that could change. I mean, obviously
So coming up in the Rose Bowl, we have at 4 p.m. Ohio State playing Oregon in the granddaddy of them all, and Ohio State is favored to win this game.
And they will.
They will not.
That'll be another one we disagree on. I think there's two things that this game two things that matters in this game. I think that the defense for Ohio State's playing much better.
So you think they come out angry?
I do. I think I think they're playing with a meaning, a passion, a motive, and I think it just looks like a different team. I'm not sold on Dylan Gabriel. You look at his stats against some of the teams that were better. Some of the better teams he played against. I understand they're undefeated. I have I
And
understand
they beat
that.
Ohio State early in the season.
And they did.
Or
And they
middle
did.
of the season.
They did. And I think, let's see.
That's a problem. You're trying to
Where
think.
was that game at? I was trying.
It was in Ohio State.
Was it?
Yeah, they traveled there because that was a game that you had picked in the season.
No, it was at Oregon.
I thought it was
And they
at
won
Ohio
by
State.
1. And there you go. Close
Cool
all
hit.
the way. I mean,
Oh yeah, it was close to
31-32. But I just wanted to go over a couple other games that this undefeated Oregon beat. They beat Boise 37-34. Good win, but give up 34 points to Boise. Oregon State sucked this year. UCLA sucked this year. Michigan State sucked this year. They beat Ohio State. Great win. Purdue sucked. Illinois was better. That was a good win.
I think you had Michigan State picked a little higher.
Yeah, I
and
did.
I think you might have had Michigan State picked to beat them.
Beat Wisconsin just by 3. Wisconsin had a horrible year.
That was a terrible game. I don't know what was up with that game.
And they beat Penn State 45-37. Once again, give up 37 points. I just look at the better teams that they played. I thought the defense didn't play as well as it could have. And, obviously they didn't play there, as well. I'm talking about Penn State. They didn't play as well either, but they were up 28-10, or 28-10. I'm sorry. Oregon was, and then Penn State got some stuff late. Listen, I'm not sold, and I know, I'm not an anti-Dylan Gabriel guy. I just don't think he's that good. I don't think Will Howard's that good either. I've said that. Neither one of them are NFL guys, maybe backups. But I like Ohio State. I just think something is different about that team. And I think I picked them at the beginning of the year.
Gabriel because he's short.
Well, and I think that's what it's going to come down to is how well does Knowles pressure that defense? They going to send more heat, or are they going to try to come back and say, "Hey, no, wait, we're gonna make you run the ball"? Who knows? Give me a score.
37-34, Oregon.
I got 38-28, Ohio State.
Remember, it's a closer travel for Oregon than it is for.
It is. I mean, and that's what it's set up to do, is a home game ish. It's supposed to be for those seeds. They put them in that area, and plus they got the
Texas,
whole.
Atlanta.
Of course, they got the whole Pac-12. Yeah, but Texas isn't the favorite. It's Arizona State. They were the ones that got screwed on that because Boise was a higher seed. They got to go to Fiesta.
Oh no, I was talking about where the games are played.
Well, yeah, Arizona State was the 4th seed. That's why they got the 4th farthest major bowl.
Right.
Boise was 3, so they got Fiesta Bowl. Would have been fucking right in their backyard if they were the 3rd seed.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about. We got another game. Oh, we do.
Yeah, we got Notre Dame and Georgia.
Oh yes.
The Sugar Bowl. Down there in Nolans. And remember, Carson Beck is out for the
Stockton
season.
is a starter, yes.
Gunnar Stockton's in. And Gunnar
Beck also
Stockton,
announced for the draft. Anyway,
and
he's Brock Purdy light.
You got to remember that Gunnar Stockton. That is that's crazy to say. That Gunnar Stockton was the one that got them back into that Texas game in the SEC title. And Carson Beck only came in for the one play to hand it off with his limp arm.
Georgia guy from Georgia, 6'1", 220, was a 4-star, 7th rated quarterback, but he's from Georgia, obviously. He's a sophomore at the moment.
Can you tell us where he's from again?
And he was from Georgia.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think what town he was from, because it's kind of a cool town. Where was it? Man, I can't remember.
It was Tiger.
Tiger, yes. Did you see it? There it is.
Right
Tiger,
there.
Georgia, yes. Tiger, Georgia, yes.
I'm sorry, was Marietta not good enough?
No. I don't really know nothing about him except what the little bit I watched. I've got Georgia winning 41-28 because Notre Dame is not any good.
I'm going to take that action.
You going to go Notre Dame?
Oh, yeah. No, Georgia.
Okay.
No.
Oh, no.
No, I'm not a freak. I'm taking your action on the points.
Give me the score.
I'm taking your action on the score.
What is it?
What you just said.
It's my score.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
You're doing the same
Yes.
score? Okay.
We've done this before.
Yes, okay. Well, I mean, I was going to should have let you guess, but anyway. Yeah, and the spread's only 1, and I like I said, I like Notre Dame's defense. Riley Leonard looks good at times, playing quarterback for his 15th year, but I think the talent, and I think where you're at the Sugar Bowl.
Georgia fans are going to be hard. That's
going to be full Georgia. Full Georgia.
Even though we know there's a lot of Notre Dame fans sneaking around. We know they sneak around. We know that they hide in their little Catholic cubbies and look at them boys.
All right. Anything else on that?
On the game, no.
No.
But in college football news, the tight end at Miami that had been there for like 10 years, he's finally
has to quit playing.
He's finally going to the NFL or something. I don't know.
Kudos to Cam Ward for setting out the second half of the game when they were losing.
Yeah, good job, Cam.
Ridiculous.
Isn't he declaring for the NFL as well?
Yeah, and going to be a high pick. And I warn you all, even though that's an Arbuckle guy, if you think about it.
Yeah.
For OU. All right, let's segue into that OU.
Well,
game.
Hold on now. Let's get to the BYU game, the BYU Colorado game. Very interesting game.
Was it?
Yeah, because that high-powered offense and the fact that Colorado is 0-6 against ranked opponents.
I didn't believe in him. And no one did, and the media propped up Hunter for the award. And we all know that. And the guy is super talented. I mean, if you think about it, without him and Shadur, that team's probably 1-11 again.
That's what they should have been. I think it's what we had to pick.
And Phil Lodeholt, I saw split. He left there and headed to Mississippi State.
I just wanted to bring that up because of all the trash that they had been talking and what came out of it at the end of the season, and the fact that Dion's going to be controlling where his sons and Travis go.
I don't think it's going to be New York now because New York looks like they're out of the first pick.
Yeah, they screwed around and won that game. So now you want to go ahead and into the.
Nah, we can talk about OU. Go ahead.
Go ahead and into OU.
Yeah, let's do it. Can't wait. Oh, it's the Patriots' #1 pick. Cool. Hey, and remind me to give Bill Belichick a little bit better credit than I did without Tom Brady when we get to that. Anyway,
is there a story behind that?
Yeah, the Patriots are worse than ever. But anyway, go. Let's talk OU. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so the big news that Zach Alley bolted to go to West Virginia to be with Rich Rod again. Speculation is running heavy. I was reading an article that said that the boosters finally opened their money, their pockets. They want to return West Virginia back to national prominence, which I don't ever remember West Virginia being national prominence.
1 year they could have went to they almost made it to the championship.
1 year. Yeah, you got 1 year, and that's when they were in the Big East.
Big East, yes.
You want to talk about the weakest conference?
It was, yes.
And also that he does not want to be seen as a Brent Venables clone and have more autonomy in calling the defense. So that's what I got out of all that.
Is that what you're thinking?
I understand that you want to call, but also you go up with Papa Rich Rod, and I know that that you're just chomping at the bit to say.
Not so much on him. We could talk about the game first before I talk about. No, we could talk about all the coaches in it. Let's talk about the game first. Let's bitch about that.
I didn't get to
Then I'll talk about the Zach Alley and all the coaches.
I didn't get to see it, so it never happened to me.
So the Armed Forces Bowl, which I think we talked in the last podcast right before the game that this was a no-win bowl. If we won, we should have, and if we lost, we fucking suck. And we lost. So, a few things I want to talk about. Total yards, 433 OU, 318. I thought, why am I drawing a blank on this kid's name? Hawkins. I thought Hawkins' best game that he's played. 28 of 43, 247. I mean, they had 7. I think I was listening to the OU broadcast. They had 7 drops for sure by receivers and running backs.
Everybody's young.
And throw 2 touchdowns. The key,
Cale Gundy coming back.
Did he have the 1 turnover? I can't remember who lost that fumble. Anyway, I can't remember either.
It was probably him. I saw people bitching about the Hawkins experiment being done.
Well, no, I mean, I didn't think it was that bad.
I saw it. That's what was there was Michigan
because there was one fumble. So penalties.
Hawkins. Yeah, it was Hawkins.
Okay,
Lost it.
penalties was about even. Total plays, we had 31 more plays, 11 and 19 on third down. They were 4-13. We had 27 first downs. They had 11. Their rushing yards was 226. 195-yard rushing play. Take that away. Their passing yards was 92 yards, and we fucking lost. So we're out. Our best two defenders are out for the game. That's Bowman and Stutzman.
What was Stutzman out for?
But they didn't play. They're going to the draft, and they shouldn't play. They shouldn't play in these meaningless bowls, and they are meaningless, people. So he shouldn't have played.
You need to preface that. The bowls are meaningless, not the people.
Yeah, the bowls are meaningless. They are meaningless bowls.
People.
No, and so we go for 2 at the end, and I am so fucking sick and tired of these local radio. I mean, and the people that write.
Yeah, because what
it's like they're all saying, "Well, why'd you go for that?" And it's like, "Oh, you sons of bitches! Look at how many 2-point conversions you have to do in overtime after the second one." And they get him. If he would have made it, they would have went like, "Oh, well, fuck, thank God he made it," and never would have said a word, and we would have won.
Right. They would have called him a hero and said, "Oh, going for 2, It was what you needed.
The decision was good.
But had he made the 2-point conversion?
No, the decision to go for it was good.
Yeah, no.
Joe John Finley's play call was shit.
But what I'm saying is the media...
Take a running quarterback and put him in the pocket.
And all the little talking heads would have been like, "Oh, that was a great decision to go for 2. That's what you needed to do. You get into these situations, and most guys just cop out and go for 1, and then go to overtime. Blah blah blah." I thought it was great. I didn't see the play that was called because the game happened while I was asleep.
I don't know. Just didn't get him. I mean, get him out of the pocket, and then. One of the running backs in the other line, they all started to move to the right, and no one blocked the best defender on the line. I'm thinking, what are you doing? I am so ready for Arbuckle and Mateer and a different offense.
Now we got to get a new defensive coordinator.
But anyway, so everybody that's bitching, that
we do have some good receivers coming in too.
Not really. Maybe youngsters, but no. Our portal is. No offense to anybody in the portal for OU, but I mean, you're all coming from shit schools, so your congratulations. We have got no portal people from any big schools. I'm not saying that has to be the tell-all, but it does look bad when you're getting no one from any other big programs.
We got Arkansas.
One receiver from Arkansas. That's it, I think. I think everybody else is. We got the kid from Kennesaw State. We got
the transfer portal's not over yet either.
I totally understand that, but what I'm saying is how it's starting is not great. We're not even in the top 10 for portal schools. Not that those matter. I'm just letting you know. I mean, Mateer, we did get the number 1 guy. I guess I should not bitch. He was the number 1 portal guy. We did get him, but we hired his coach to do it. And then Lewis Carter leaves, which was interesting. 4-star out of
it's
Florida.
Possible he comes back.
I don't think so. Because so we all want to whine about.
Does he look drunk in that picture? Does
no,
the
only person I thought Nick Anderson and Lewis Carter was the only 2 losses that I went, oh damn, and Dason McCullough, that was the other one. And going to Nebraska, I mean 7-5, they'll get in a bowl game, so that's good for him.
We're curious. Pettaway leaves to go to Eastern Carolina.
I think that's all. Something is just there. It's one of those deals.
How did we lose Nick Anderson twice?
That had to rub it in.
Guilty you didn't get.
So then, but no, it was just. So the Zach Alley deal, I guess we could talk a little bit about that. So that's been the talk too, is why in the hell would you leave, OU to go to West Virginia? Well, you get 3 years at West Virginia, highest paid assistant that West Virginia's ever had. You are the DC. You are calling the plays. Yes. Britt Venables is still very involved in everything. That's done. So, two things. You scared about him getting fired? Is it just one more year? Is that what he's thinking?
Probably.
Or, hey, I've got 3 years. I can build my own name here, and I'm a head coach in a year or two.
It's
Big 12.
50% of one, 50% of the other.
I kind of think so, too. And you know, and as much as...
It gets him out there, and he gets,
kudos,
I said, he gets to the not be.
Kudos to the one guy that retweeted a comment that Zach Ellie said is like, Brent's like my second dad, and someone responded, well, so Rich is your real dad?
First daddy.
Yeah. So it was
Rich is your first daddy.
That was pretty funny. But no, I mean, so everyone that's bitching about how bad a year we went, then we lose a couple.
Well, you got to think.
Well, no, we lose a couple coaches, or we lose one coach and a couple players, and everyone's like, "Oh fuck, we're done now." It's like, well, wait a minute.
Yeah,
are we gonna get better? We can get better with these players.
I haven't said that. I just saw it, and I'm like, okay, let's see what happens.
I can't imagine that anybody sets back and goes, after you look at this year, that you don't think that the offense is going to be better next year. It will. With the youngsters were coming in, the defensive line, that was a lot of freshmen and sophomore.
A lot of freshmen.
Dominic Williams is coming back. We do need to get our Mason Thomas back. That's key. I don't know what he's doing. It's kind of a iffy right now if he comes back or not. But that'd be 2 huge people, and we need some linebacker play.
Well, getting everybody,
because we're gonna lose
buy
Stutzman.
in and believe in the team is what is.
Well, I think there's a lot of that too. So
massively important.
I think there's 2 coaches that's going to be hired as a DC. I think it's going to be the
Booth.
No, it's going to be is it Goodwin from Clemson?
I don't know. I sent you the list. I don't have my phone.
Hold on.
I saw the Clemson guy, and I saw.
It's going to be Will God, what is his name? Wes Goodwin. It's either going to be Wes Goodwin or Brandon Hall that's on staff.
Brandon Hall.
That's going to be that's going to be it. There's no denying that's those 2. There's no need to discuss anything else. No. Todd Bates is not going to be the DC. And I love Todd Bates. I think he's one of the best defensive line, but I don't know if he's ever called plays. And generally, you don't see a DC move to.
So the whole Zach Alley is that he was an understudy for Venables at Clemson. Rich Rod was the one that gave him his first taste of play calling and being an actual defensive coordinator.
Well, sure, and you come over and maybe they don't like. I don't know. I mean, everyone's just freaking out. Everyone thinks there's just so much going on, and it's like, well, where is Zach Alley from? Where's he?
Clemson,
where's his hometown at?
South Carolina.
I mean, if you Google it up, his alma mater's Clemson, obviously. Did he play after graduating?
He won 2 natties.
Well, that was at Clemson, though. I don't have a lot going on here, does he?
Graduating Charlotte Day High School. North Carolina.
North Carolina. So he's close. So he's probably got family over there.
Yeah.
Everybody forgets that, too. And it's like, we did get better in defense this year, but it was because of him. Probably not. But I'm sure he helped. I'm not discrediting the guy by no means.
You got to make your choices.
And he's not going to make it 3 years at West Virginia. He's either going to be fired after 2 or be a head coach. That's just how it goes.
Well, the thing is Rich Rod going to make it 3 years?
Yeah, no. See, Rich Rod's got a 5-year, 6-year contract, something. I mean, it's like they've committed. I mean,
they're committed,
and they're giving all this money. I mean, it's like, hey, we're done. And former RSU guy, Ren Baker, used to be the AD at Rogers State.
Does that say word?
Pretty sure. Yep, Rogers State AD, 2006, 2010.
4 years.
Yep, and he is the AD at West Virginia right now.
Oh, congratulations.
And had to fire old Huggins. Love the Huggins. Huggins' basketball jersey had the Miami. Did you see that? How he wore all them, I don't know what you'd call them, like almost like an over vest. Or like them.
Sweater vest?
He wore sweater vests, but he also wore them not nylon, but it's like those wind tops the old timers used to do, just the tops.
The
so
tracksuit?
well, no, it was like a pullover, but it was kind of that thin material.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's a tracksuit. It was the top for track.
Maybe, but
So
not
you-
as
what
not
you
as
do is
nerdy. Yeah.
What you would do is you'd get out to track, and it's like your warm up. You're wearing it. You're chilling, and then before you ran, you took it all off.
Anyway, so back to the OU
Russians
deal.
wear
It's
it.
like, geez,
They love tracksuits.
I am so tired of. I'm into sweats these days. That's what I'm into. But no,
I have to wear jeans for work, so I go straight sweats and shorts.
I don't. I think everybody needs to freaking relax. But I think the concern is he's got one more year, and his schedule next year is harder than this year. But I really would like to see it.
Schedule.
2 years. I know, but we got Michigan in non-conference, so that adds to the
I
hardness.
forgot about that.
And some of the easier road games, or home games this year.
Oh my God! If he gets fired, Sharon Moore come back home.
Who?
Sharon Moore.
No. All right. Anything else on college before we hit the NFL?
No, but I can't wait for that.
'Cause
I can't wait for that second
Oh,
phone call.
let me have
making fun
no.
of
The
Ohio
only thing
State.
I wanted to talk about, like I talked about, was the college playoffs. To end this, is people quit bitching about the 12-team playoff. Let's move it to 16. And what you do is you quit giving the shittier conferences higher seeds. Period.
I'm telling you right now.
Reseed them all. Let the playoff committee. This committee was hamstrung a little bit because they had to seed these winners 1 through 4.
I'm telling you right now.
Just seed them how you
Screw
feel.
the 16 team. Just do the top 25, and put them all through the bowls.
Well, there would have to be some home games, and that's too many to me for football because you add to the games. But 16 is plenty. 16 is you could do 16.
Next year it'll be 18. And then
No,
it'll
I
be
don't think they'll
20,
ever do
and
more
then it'll be
because of
24.
because you're gonna have to start doing the math. NFL players, they play 17 games now through 18 weeks. You still ain't got those.
Plus playoffs.
You ain't got those NFL guys playing that many, or college right now. So you got them playing 13. You have them about 17 if you would do a 16. That'd be right. That'd be four games max.
Yeah, but that's not
less
everybody playing those
in the
games.
championship.
That's not everybody.
No,
playing those
I agree.
games.
But I'm saying the max. The max a team could have to
The
play.
max. This is year the top 25.
Well, that's pretty impressive to get, if you play 17 games in college and win the national championship, you deserved it.
Top 25, and the first team gets a round bye. Number 1 team in the nation gets a bye. And just use the bowls that way. That way you bring relevancy back to the bowls.
So one thing I understand that, and relevancy has come to some of the bowls now because
No more of the home game. You bring
the
relevancy back to the bowls,
you get 2 more bowls.
and everybody gets to play in a bowl who was in the top 25. No more of this 6-team. Well, no more of this overblown. How many bowls were in Alabama?
I just didn't like the seeding.
How many bowls are in Florida? Like
I didn't
20?
like them to say, okay, hey Boise State, hey Arizona State, you won your conference, so you're automatically seeded high.
Did you want to give Texas a first round bye?
I think if
Then they
Texas,
should have
no,
won.
I don't like the buys either. I don't, but I think you seed them all based on what you think is the best team, not what you're hamstrung to seed them, and that's unfair. It is.
All right, Lane Kiffin.
Well, no, it's true.
Oh, Lane Kiffin. Oh, by the way, Lane Kiffin's got a game coming up.
If you would you take if you had to bet on Alabama, would you take Alabama over Boise? You wouldn't. If you had to bet your life savings on it straight up, not in a neutral field, you take Alabama. I'm just saying.
I might take Boise the way
no, you
Alabama
wouldn't.
plays.
You wouldn't. No one would, unless they're just dumb and want to be. They want to be different. They want to be different.
Savings is like $10.
Okay, so if you had $1 million,
$1 million.
that means you'd have another $1 million to lose. But anyway, if you made that much, no.
$1 million.
So let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about the NFL. And it's closing up. We're on week 17. Let's give an update on that score tonight. 49ers 21.
How is this happening?
49ers 21. Lions
Look at
13.
that. Brock Purdy, 200 yards, 2 tutties.
And Jamar Gibbs only 60 yards. That means probably it looks.
Oh, you looking it up?
Let's see what our championship race is looking at. 97. Well, Creston's not far behind. He is 25, 35, 34 points behind, and it's halftime.
Yep. It's at halftime.
So he's 34 points behind. So he gained 20. So it's 125-91. Gonna be tough. Gonna be tough.
Coming
to catch
down to the wire. All right. Games that matter.
Third place.
See any.
Me. Let's see. Looks like fifth place. Looks like Clara's gonna beat Hunter. And seventh place, George will be beating Destiny. That was a close one too. High scoring too. Damn, they had some high scoring. A lot of high scoring games. And then you got this trash right here, 88 points.
Speaking of trash, where's my money?
All right,
Where's my money, trash?
let's do it. I thought this week's games were just awesome. I thought the Bengals game, Joe Burrow.
I watched.
He's not going to win the
parts of that game.
MVP, but I kind of would like to do some research, and maybe you can do that when you're at work doing nothing. That who is the closest to winning the MVP that has played on the worst team? And that could be him, because I think he's going to finish about third or fourth.
No, I'd have to go look at all.
You know what I mean? I mean,
look at every MVP
but to see
standing.
but like the third or fourth place,
I'd have to gauge that year.
Did they have a 4-12 record? I mean, I know that the Bengals are 8-9. No, they're 8. Is it 8-8 right? Yeah, they're 8-8 right now.
They're still in the hunt.
Now, more than likely, the scenario is Denver's probably going to get it because they're going to play the Chiefs this week. Looks like the Chiefs have locked up.
Chiefs have locked up. They've locked the number one overall.
And it looks like everybody's going to set on their ass. Bills the same way. Who plays the Bills? Anybody important? Bills will also. Did you not pull up that schedule?
Well, I was looking at something, and you made me forget what I was looking at.
Well, let me just keep continuing about the. I'll keep talking about the.
Here it is. That's what I was looking for. I don't know who the Buffalo played the Jets. Buffalo's going to end up playing. Which, Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, we just didn't do enough. We didn't do anything. New England. They're closing out at New England.
The Bills. Okay, so it looks like Allen's going to start, then he'll bail out. So
give him like 3 series and then.
Yeah, I don't. I think I can get 1 series is what I'd give him because they've locked in the 2 seed. They're there.
Well, that's what I was looking.
Yeah,
I was looking at playoff standings. So.
Well, if you go to the AFC.
Well, that's where I'm at.
Oh, okay.
Because they're on the top.
Okay, we'll get after it. Let's do a little review of that.
I don't know what I've done here.
Oh my God. What have you done? Oh, he's in the trash lane. Let's just talk about it. We know the Chiefs are 1. The Bills are number 2. The Ravens, they play, I believe, the Browns, and they can beat that, or if the Bengals beat the Steelers, okay, they can be number 3. You with me? Okay. Number 4 is Houston. They get it no matter what, and they suck. I cannot. That's the worst team going in the playoffs by far. Pittsburgh still can win the North. They would have to beat the Bengals, and the Ravens have to lose to the Browns. Not happening.
I guess I just
Pittsburgh's in. And then the Chargers, they play the Raiders. They'll either be the 5th or 6th seed in the playoff. 5th seed if the Raiders if they defeat the Raiders and the Steelers lose. The Chargers would face Houston.
All right, look at this. Look at what's happening when I hit this. This should go to the playoff standings.
It is.
Okay.
You just got to read the E's and the Z's. And
Is it? Is it really?
Yes.
The Baltimore, Houston, Tampa Bay in the AFC.
That's what it's giving you the seeds.
Tampa Bay in the AFC.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be here.
Cool computer. I don't even know why the Carolina Panthers are on there. But anyway,
it's not. That's what I'm saying. It's not giving.
Go to 25.
So I'm going to go to this.
Would you go to 25 when that pops up?
It shouldn't be.
I guess
there's no 25.
Okay, we're just making sure. I'm reading it right now, so I'm already giving you a lowdown. Chargers, they'll be the 6th seed if the Steelers win. And the 7th seed is going to go to the Broncos because they play the Chiefs. Now, if they lose against the Chiefs, which would be crazy nuts because everybody on the Chiefs is setting, then it would come down to the Bengals and the Dolphins.
So we're already looking at Denver in.
Denver's going to be in.
Miami. Who's Miami playing?
Miami's going to play
New York.
the Jets.
Yeah.
The Jets. And then the Bengals, they'll play the
They're playing Steelers, aren't they?
yes, Steelers. Yes.
Yeah, and you know the Steelers.
Bengals are going to beat the Steelers. Steelers are trash. Hey, folks, anybody picking the Steelers to win shit in the playoffs, stop. Stop. Stop.
Russell's back, baby.
I would take Denver over the Steelers.
Russell's back.
And I hope they play round one.
Russell's back.
I would love it. Love it, love it,
All right,
love it.
NFC. Here's the fun fact. Minnesota and Detroit
This is great.
are playing for the bye.
Sunday night next week.
Yes.
The first time ever, and that 13. It's probably going to be maybe not probably, but at least 13 win. Could be 14 if Denver or Detroit wins tonight. But it's the first time ever that you're going to see two teams with that many wins play for a spot, and it's going to be on Sunday night. Winner takes the first round bye. Loser drops clear to 5th.
Yeah.
For that. And they'll play probably either the Rams or the Bucks, is how that looks, depending on who wins what.
Well, right now we're seeing who makes the playoff because currently Tampa has the NFC South
Yes.
in hand.
Well, they got to win. They still got to beat New Orleans.
If the game that I watched the other night of Washington and Atlanta, of the two quarterbacks that I wanted Chicago to draft, was a really good game. Went to overtime. Washington ended up winning last night by 6 points. And both quarterbacks were quarterbacks that I wanted the Bears to take over Caleb Williams because of their accuracy.
We all
and their
said that.
decision-making.
Trade that number one pick.
And so now we're looking to see if Tampa or Atlanta makes it in because the rest of the field is set. And
Not necessarily. The Rams are in, but if they lose to Seattle and the Bucks win, the Bucks move to the 3 seed. And then the Rams would move to the 4 seed.
no,
there is a change there.
I'm saying that the playoff teams are set.
Yes.
Aside from
Tampa and Atlanta. That's correct. Yeah, Tampa's
so the playoff
got
teams are set. We just don't know position.
Tampa's got to beat the Rattlers of the
Rattlers.
Saints and
the Spencer Rattlers.
yes, and Atlanta plays
The Albino Rattlers.
and Atlanta plays the Panthers.
Oh, the Saints go marching down.
We hope so.
So and it was lucky that Tampa got that Tampa's schedule helped them with that big game yesterday, and Atlanta had to have a hard-fought game. And they tried to win. I'm not going to lie.
Tampa, that was a great game.
Atlanta.
That's one of the most fun games I've watched. I mean, I've watched a lot of good games, but that was a fun one to watch, only because I had some rooting interest,
They
obviously, for Atlanta.
sat
But
on Penix too long. They sat on that big black Penix too
well,
long.
and you look what Dan Quinn, I mean, every fourth down, at 4th and 3, 4th and 2, he'd be like, no hesitation. They were ready to call the play. The play was already called, and they still had time on the clock. There wasn't this, oh shit, let's make my decision. He's already thinking about this.
Everybody go line up and then look at me.
Yeah, they're thinking about it.
Line up and look at me.
And hey, I know you're not a big fan, and he's not going to be your next coach, but he's going to get some consideration. I think Cliff Kingsbury should get a lot of credit for what what Washington has done on offense this year, to be honest.
I told you, I believe that he probably will be our next coach.
Yeah, I don't think he will, but it's funny because you're so concerned about that.
My heart can't take it. My heart. Well, the other problem is that the Bears' little O-line and a couple D guys, and it's a complete team, depending on who he brings in.
And I think Green Bay and Washington obviously is in the playoffs, and they could swap.
They are. Yeah, we're looking at position. Like I said, the last week is coming down to positioning. For Tampa and Atlanta, it's who's in, and for the rest of them, it's positioning.
So if Green Bay beats the Bears, which they will, and
Yes.
Washington defeat the
Quite handily.
and Washington defeats the Cowboys, which they should, Packers will get the higher seed than Washington. So the Packers would play the Rams or Buccaneers. Much easier spot than Washington 7, who will play the Eagles. Now, that's barring if Jalen Hurts is back, because there's no bye week for that playoff team.
You sent me that picture, that video.
Of Kenny Pickett?
I about shit my pants. I laughed so hard. Why did
The music was good too, wasn't it?
Why did the ball not leave his hand?
It's like he was doing a fake pump or something, and he just went with it.
And then he fell down.
So if you haven't seen Kenny Pickett in that play in last week's game, it was pretty bad. And, give credit to that guy. I think they said he played with some broken ribs originally and got hurt later.
Yeah, he was.
The guy gamed. I mean, he was a baller. Even Daxton told me I should pick him up for my fantasy. I needed a quarterback because Tua was out. And I picked up Joe Flacco and instead of Kenny Pickett. So and Kenny had better numbers for that. So
where am I gonna go? I gotta find the video.
Green Bay would need to lose. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. So Washington's going to come in as the last spot in the playoffs.
We're gonna switch to our. Ready?
Here we go.
Again, blitz is coming. Oh, what was that? Throws it into the ground and right up to Barkley. There's a flag way down in the secondary.
I think it was the color of the jersey.
That was
That's what I'm
something.
gonna blame.
No, but they do really well in the Kelly Green.
I think Leofau got his hand.
Did he touch it though? Did the other guy touch it?
So watch his left hand. So he gets
Maybe
his
he
hand.
did.
I don't know, but damn it, your internet.
Of Pickett, and
See
I
it.
think
I
that's
don't
just
think
going to be
he
an
touched it.
incomplete
Maybe he
pass.
did.
Illegal contact. Defense.
No, he was never touched.
It was quite impressive. Quite impressive.
Cancel. Don't look at my screen.
Okay, so
Don't look at my screen.
So epic playoffs for the NFL this year. I mean, this is going to be one of the best playoffs I know I've said it last year, but these are going to be some of the best playoffs. I honestly really liked. I mean, okay, so we talked about last week. What do you do with Darnold? You re-signing him? You got to, don't you?
That is
I
one
mean,
of the
especially.
biggest. That is one of the
they've
biggest,
won 14 fucking games already.
That is one of the biggest conundrums.
Now,
of
we
this
talked
season.
about the Vikings defense. I know nobody really likes Brian Flores. The NFL doesn't like him either. But they've got a good defense.
There's a lot behind.
But they've
that,
got
but
a good.
I do
They've
like-
got a good.
I do like.
They've got a
Flores.
good defensive team. Kevin O'Connell's one of the best play callers. I would put him up top 3 actual play callers in the league overall over anybody, to be honest. Andy Reid would be there.
Jared
Kevin
Goff's
O'Connell.
throwing. Jared Goff's throwing.
And so that would be. He's. But they've got a phenomenal team that's not got a lot of stars. I mean, obviously you've got Jefferson. And then you got Aaron Jones from Green Bay, and then he's not really a super.
You have a really
improvement.
good wide receiver core. You don't have
Addison,
a
yeah.
superstar running back.
No.
And you have a out of nowhere defense and a middle of the road quarterback that is shining like.
He's not making mistakes
And
like Baker Mayfield.
Well, and you got to think that he went through the same
Thing is Baker.
BS that Baker went through. They ended up on Carolina together, and they both.
They got that one. Yeah, you can see that one
like
picture.
1
It's
and
like
2.
cool, Carolina.
Yeah,
it's like,
1 and 2 together.
Now you've got guys that both these guys are in the playoffs, and you guys are setting at 4 games.
All they needed was to bring Rosen up.
Yeah.
You would have had the trifecta.
No, you're exactly right, and it's amazing what both those guys have done. Same draft, and Darnold's path has been longer, but Baker's has probably been harder just because he was the number 1 pick and trashed in Cleveland, tried to play hurt, and then had to go and be at the a 3rd string at Carolina. I think Darnold was ahead of him.
I am still happy that Cleveland are eating
Sucking ass still.
eating their words. They're eating. Oh, that's another thing. Deshaun Watson had to restructure his contract, and they pushed that to 2030. I believe is how they did it.
His last year's next year.
Oh, his last year was this year.
No, I think he's got one more. They did
For what?
to play Watson. Yeah, I think they're not going to cut him.
I don't know.
No,
I don't know what he's doing.
He's going to be the quarterback. I mean, he'll be the starter, and they're going to give him one more year, and that's it.
Jameis Winston or Peoples-Jones.
I'm glad they brought
Peoples-Jones.
Jameis Winston for this game. He plays much better than DTR. Is it DTR?
Yeah.
DRT, whatever.
Dorian Thomas Robinson.
I mean, he makes stupid mistakes, and I hated him at Tampa. I told you his worst.
Well, I hated him
draft.
at Florida State.
But the guy,
I thought he was
the guy
trash
gives
there.
you the option to win more than he does to not win. Does that make sense? I mean, you're going to get the shit.
You have a better
but
chance of winning.
the ceiling is higher.
Yeah.
Yes, the ceiling is definitely higher.
You have a better chance of
So,
winning.
all right, there's a touchdown right there.
Passing touchdown.
Goff to
I'm gonna check that.
But, we'll check it here in a minute when it gets clear.
You also have to think that Kirk Cousins is scheduled to be cut.
He's done. Where's he go?
I don't know, but have you not seen that to save a certain amount of money?
No, he's gone. Yeah,
before his $10 million.
And I think he knows he's gone. Yes, he's gone.
What caused
he never got
that?
back after the injury. I don't know.
The 2-point.
Yeah, so it's tied 21-21.
21-21.
So I don't know what they. I mean,
what was the thought?
Watch him play, and every commentator that knows ball, I don't. I've never played it, but they'll watch it and they'll sit there and go, "Well, I did play it actually," but all conference.
Weren't you an offensive lineman?
I was, and no, they said his step off. You know, he just didn't have that step back. You know, the plant foot. From that Achilles,
he wasn't playing
and maybe he's better next year. But he's
well. And this is everybody gave Atlanta shit for drafting Penix in the first round.
I think it looks like a great move now.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But it makes you wonder: did they realize after they signed him? Oh fuck! You know, did we screw up?
But you have to do the
in
physical.
the between the time.
You have to, and in the physical, I would be looking at him going, "Stop, play."
Which I mean, you think about it.
Play.
How many playoff games has Kirk Cousins won? I think one, maybe two. I mean.
One.
Yeah,
he's Jay Cutler 2.0.
It was a bad decision.
He's Jay Cutler.
They got
2.0.
desperate. They got desperate.
Yeah, don't sign Jay Cutler, and don't sign anybody.
And hey,
like
you talk
Jay
about
Cutler.
and you talk about bad coaching though too. I mean, you know, in that Atlanta Washington game, the timeouts in the first and second half to close the game, he had timeouts for both and just let the clock run. I didn't understand. I mean, maybe he had his thing. I don't know. Have the Lions or they haven't kicked yet?
Gets
okay.
kicked. Gets kicked.
But yeah, I mean, how did they?
I saw
not,
that earlier. And I was like, how'd the Niners get the ball when they?
How did they not take the timeouts to save time, especially in the second half? I mean, the first one they had time too bad. I don't know. It's easier sitting on the sideline, but to watch that stuff. But you've got to be smarter. And I also thought that Zach Robinson's play calling last night was interesting. I thought I thought some of the throw and the gimmicky plays was enough. I think that you could have run Bijan and Algier a lot more, and they did, and they were excelling at doing that. That's the thing I don't like about Washington playing Philadelphia. If that's the first round matchup, I think Philadelphia's got a huge advantage there.
But Penix's arm was also helping out with that.
Oh God, he can throw a bomb.
I know.
Jeez.
That's what I said. That's why I wanted him or Jaden Daniels over Caleb Williams in that draft. Caleb Williams is like the number 8 quarterback.
Who?
In
Daniels,
that draft.
Who you talking about? You said Jalen who?
Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, you said Williams. I was like, who?
Oh, did I?
Oh, yeah.
In that draft, well, I said Caleb Williams is the number 8.
Oh, Caleb. Yeah, you said Jaden.
Caleb.
Williams, yeah.
Caleb's the number 8 overall for that draft.
If you redraft him?
Yeah, if I redraft, I got guys way higher than him. And remember, that was the big draft class. Because that had Bo Nix coming out in it. That had, there's a lot of quarterbacks.
Well, this is just a redraft. You'd get Jaden Daniels to the Bears. Obviously.
Exactly. And I would
Drake
done,
May to Washington. Caleb Williams.
Drake May was in it.
Caleb Williams to the. And you know what? Caleb Williams, you give him a lot of shit. He didn't have. His numbers weren't super bad.
No, but his decision making is trash.
Oh, yes, and he's a little whiny and he gets upset.
A little whiny?
And
if I didn't have you a safe space because you made a fucking mistake.
And then you got Brian Thomas, who I drafted my rookie. And that's another one I don't get credit for. Another rookie. I had Bucky Irving, Brian Thomas.
Dude,
he
stop.
led the rookie receivers in touchdowns.
Stop.
Why not? Why not? He led the rookie.
Stop.
He led the rookie receivers in touchdowns.
You picked up Bucky Irving late in the season.
No, I didn't. I drafted him.
Bucky Irving?
Yes.
No, you didn't. You dropped him.
Bet me. I drafted 2 rookies. Bet me, bitch.
Then why was he out there?
Why was he out where?
I thought people had chances to pick Bucky Irving up and
No,
drop
I
him.
drafted him.
You dropped him.
I drafted him. Never dropped him. No.
You dropped him.
Nope, drafted. Draft. Brian Thomas, same way. Yeah.
Oh, what about what
and
happened?
He leads the league in wide receiver touchdowns.
Yeah, but Ladd McConkey still leads yardage.
That was a good pickup by her too. I mean, yeah.
And what happened?
And should have thought about that because they had 0 receivers. Everyone's like, Keenan Allen, see ya.
What
and
happened
who's the other one?
to the generational talent of Marvin Harrison Jr.?
he had a rough year. Let's put him. He would have been drafted 9th, they said.
I would not have taken him. I still would have taken a Disarray.
Well, I think the problem with Marvin Harrison Jr. is you've got a quarterback that's not a good thrower. And you must admit that. Kyler Murray's kind of a
50-50.
run.
I know he's more run.
Yeah.
But still, all I heard was generational.
And Brock Bowers as well is generational. And he's there. I mean, he is.
Yeah, Brock
there.
Bowers proved his shit.
Yes.
And Ladd McConkey came out of nowhere.
He did. No, I would agree with that.
That was a thing.
I would agree with that.
Oh, my God. How is he doing that? 20.
Now, where's Bucky? Bucky, come on.
Yeah, see, Bucky's still not in the top.
Oh, he's going to be there somewhere. There's Rome way down there. And he didn't have a good quarterback to throw to as well.
But he still did really well. He did well. He did better than, what's his name?
They're at 29th.
Oh, leave that to the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. And he was a 4th-round fucking pick by the Tampa Bay.
Well, and you know what? I'm looking at Ashton Genty going to Dallas this year.
Oh, it sounds like a pick Jerry'd make just out of desperation.
I would prefer that he ends. Oh my God, they're about to score again.
Well, it gives the ball back fast to them. What time? Where are we at? Shit, we're at 110. All right, wrap it up.
Yeah. Well, we're a little.
Hey,
so I would say that Ashton Genty to the Bears. I would like that. We do need a generational running back like we have had in the past.
Not a big Swift fan, are you?
No, it was Swift and him.
Oh, gotcha.
Because like I said, we lost Montgomery, and I liked Montgomery in college. Because I watched Montgomery run all over OU.
I guess, but he's hurt, and Gibbs is better than him.
Well, he is now.
Anyway. All right, upcoming games this week.
For NFL?
There's 3 games. They're the 3 important ones. Bengals Steelers obviously mean a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Then obviously you've got that Vikings Lions game, and it's at the Lions. That's going to be the Sunday night game at 7:20, which is going to be huge. Probably one of the biggest watched games. You know, I'm concerned. I mean, well, before we get to that, and also the Chiefs and Broncos game's important. I just don't know how important because the Broncos are going to win. Obviously, Saints and Bucks we've talked about. There's some importance there.
Where's Atlanta? Atlanta's playing.
And other than that, the games are just junk.
Where's Atlanta?
Atlanta playing.
Oh, Atlanta, Carolina.
They're playing Carolina, yes. And they're playing at Carolina.
So if Tampa shits.
No, they're at the Falcons.
Tampa shits the bed.
Yes. And Atlanta wins.
Atlanta wins.
Yes.
Because I think they hold the tiebreaker, don't they?
They do. Atlanta beat them twice this year. Yeah. Both with Kirk Cousins, which is weird. Weird. But anyway.
So this is a win. This is a win more than just being 500.
And that makes 10, and we took Tampa over. Tampa's, that's a great thing about it. Tampa's picked at 7.5. We both picked them over on that. And where is the, let's find that Carolina.
Oh, that 5.5?
Yeah, and what are they?
They're
we
3,
picked them
4?
under. We could have got Rich on.
4-12.
And we'd be under anyway, even if they win.
Yeah.
Look at us. It'd be in Vegas next year before we do this again.
Are we doing this from Vegas
Rams,
next year?
good. Arizona, we were wrong on. But they're not going to make the playoffs, so are they?
No.
They're right. What, they win 8 games? 8 games?
They were first out of this.
We got Dallas right. We got Philly right. What's Philly's wins? They're 12 or 13, aren't they?
13-3.
Rams,
13-3.
we got right. Houston, we did not, because I don't think they won. Well, what was Houston's record? They didn't win 10, did they?
9.
Well, they could win 10.
Because they won the South.
Well, yeah, but that don't mean shit. Okay, so if they win...
Yeah, they won 9, so they need to win
then
this
we got
game.
We got that one. Jacksonville, we messed up. Pittsburgh, I missed. That was my fault. Missed Cincinnati. Missed the Jets. Missed the Bills. Good for the Bills. Chargers. We
They're
missed
over.
them. They're over.
They're over.
And
Yeah, they're at 10
Vegas,
games.
we got right.
They're at 10 games already.
Vegas, we got right. Under.
Yeah, look at that. What about Chicago? Where did we get on that? Under 8.5?
I think we picked them. Yeah, we did under. We did under on Chicago, and we got that easy, didn't we?
Yes, very quite easy.
But look at the Vikings, 7.5. Wow, that's crazy. But you know that whole.
We took Detroit over.
that was easy. I mean, we picked them almost undefeated. You know, like one loss or something. They were like, okay, we got to pick a loss.
You picked Kansas City as undefeated.
Yeah.
I had Kansas City at 3
And they're the
losses.
1 seed. So, I mean, made it right. So, all right. Anything else?
I don't.
Hey, women's basketball OU 1 loss, still ranked top. Are they 10? Men's also undefeated. They'll start.
Still at 12.
It's going to start real quick this week. Alabama's their game now. Ranked. They're number 5. Number 5. Yes.
Tennessee, Ole Miss, and OU are still undefeated.
Yes, but OU plays Alabama this week.
And they are one.
And they're 5th ranked. And they're 5th ranked. So. Going to be a barn burner, boys. We'll let you go. 28-21 now. San Francisco wins. Thanks for joining us. We'll see. Well, they touchdown. They
touchdown.
Their winning score, and they will win this game. It's just how that goes. Look at Brock Purdy trying to make some contract money with and then they'll finish 7. And
do you think he had a deal with Dan Campbell? Hey, I need money.
Let me
I live in San Francisco.
Let me win.
I was a Mr. Irrelevant, and
it's gonna be fun, and that's it's gonna be interesting. Our championship for our fantasy still goes on because it's gonna.
Hold on,
let's
get an update on that.
Okay, let's
get an update. A quick update
before
for
we
that.
Close out. We've got 125 to 100. He's at 99%, so 25 more points in the next quarter and a half. That's what he needs. Gonna be tight. He said he was nervous anyway. I said you need to get 60, and he only had like 55. So I said get
already...
6. I said get 6. It was 125 to 68. So what is that? 32 and 25. So he was close. He was 57. I thought he needed to get 60.
Jared Goff is throwing.
And they're getting ready to start it up again. All right. See y'all. Thanks. We'll see you next year.
All right.
Bye.
Oh God, next year. Bye, guys.